and typically they have co-occurring disorders. Although I'd like to make a note that anybody who's ever had a mild manic episode has an addiction problem, because mild manic episodes for me generated norepinephrine, which results in a high on par with cocaine. So you're essentially high on your own brain. It's very addictive, it's very habit-forming, it exudes power. I planted that gave me a break to get out of my thoughts. I took a trip unaccompanied by spacecraft to Saturn in the summer of '98, and I'll backdate this back to summer of '97, the early winter of '97 to the winter of '98. I was diagnosed as clinically depressed. The doctors did not take a family history. They did not ask me questions about what happens in the summer with your mood. So they gave me Prozac or Zoloft. And if you know what the kindling effect is, that is when a bipolar person is giving a stimulating, at the chemical constituent level, something that's stimulating. And Zoloft and Prozac are both stimulating. So what happened was, that was like the perfect recipe for my first manic episode. So we'll fast forward to 1998, and that summer, I started to feel energy beyond belief. I started to be able to think faster, chase the thoughts until more faster thoughts came up. Remember running around different college campuses with the girlfriend I had at the time, thinking everything was okay, that my behavior was fine. I remember watching TV and seeing Jay Leno, thinking he was talking personally to me. At that point, it became psychotic. I remember listening to songs on the radio. There was one in particular that came out in the summer of '98 about Sonny and Cher, and I thought I was friends and buddies with Sonny and Cher. And it was great. It felt wonderful. I could drink any amount I wanted, stay up. It was like being high, being on a drug. Little did I know that that would come to a crash eventually. But during that time, what I experienced was completely amazing. It was unbelievably wonderful, and at the same time terrifying, because things were getting out of control. The way I felt was the people around me weren't fast enough. They were like too slowed down. I would talk with them, their conversation with them. I couldn't sit still for a conversation. I didn't see myself while others were seeing me. And I still did not have a diagnosis except for clinical depression. At this point, I knew something was different though, because every winter I would get slow. And I lived in Milwaukee, where the equator, it's much farther than the equator, so the variance is a lot more. It's light out till like almost 10 o'clock at night. They could start at like 4 o'clock in the winter. So what I've noticed was that over time, there would be like this shift. And this is all like intuitively noticing this, not with the doctor. You know, the girl I dated at the time, I said, you know, she's a nursing student. And I said, well, what do you think this is? It became the conclusion it was generalized. It was, what's the word for it?
Seasonal affective.
Yeah, seasonal affective disorder. Thank you. So it's seasonal affective disorder. And that is, to a certain extent, except people with seasonal affective disorder, no one else to have psychosis going. So that first manic episode, in words that I cannot describe, I will have Brandon and Joshua now play a song called Manic Depression by Jimi Hendrix.